Going live. Hey, we're live. Okay, cool. Hopefully this works out pretty well for us. This is actually kind of an introduction. We're trying to post some more content to the page. So this one's kind of a special sort of video that we're doing, and it's getting to know us. It's a segment that we're starting so that you can get to know everybody in our office, as well as being able to ask some questions or whatever you want to do. Kind of ask them here. I'm going to ask my own questions though, so I got a few of them written down. We're going to go off script a little bit to kind of talk a little bit about Sergeant Ryan. So getting to know us, Staff Sergeant Ryan edition. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. So first of all, I'm going to ask you a few questions, just to kind of like get things rolling. But
yeah, the users got to get to know us, and y'all about to know all about me today.
Give me a second while I pull this up on our Facebook. I want to make sure everything's going good. This is kind of our test as well as the introduction to you.
Yeah, of course.
So
I don't even know if like they can ask questions on live or
they should be able to ask questions on live. Yes. The problem is because we're using Facebook now as our live media source. There's going to be a little bit of a lag time. So if you do have questions, obviously tune in when you can. Ask questions. We'll see it pop up on our live stream video. I've got my phone out to be able to kind of like see some of those comments as they pop up. And then we'll kind of go from there. But how you doing today?
Doing good. I'm excited. We got the YouTube channel going. We got Twitch TV going.
Yes.
And we're still going live, for our main content at 1 o'clock. So this is kind of fun, man.
Some pretty good stuff though, right? I mean, I'm enjoying today. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's been a day, that's for sure.
Yeah. So getting to know you a little bit about yourself. So obviously you've been in the military for a hot minute. So kind of tell us a little bit about how long you've been in.
Yeah, man. I've been in for this 9/11. September 11th will be 8 years.
Okay.
I joined in 9/11 2012 is when my official Army date is. Okay.
Was that planned, or I mean, 9/11's a pretty big day, so that's the reason I'm asking.
It wasn't. It's just kind of like I got lucky. Okay. I'm not lucky, but I don't know. It just happened. I didn't plan it by no means at all.
Oh man, I love having dates that you can remember easily, and
I feel pretty proud that day.
Joining, you'll never forget the day that you actually like went to basic training, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Well, what about like motivations? What motivated you a little bit to kind of go that direction in life?
I knew I was going to join the military. Okay. I was even in high school, my freshman year I did ROTC because I knew it was going to give me promotions, in my career in the military.
Okay.
At the time, starting through high school, I didn't know what branch. I kind of discovered that as I went and went along. When it came time for my senior year, I talked to every branch. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a good instructor. I said, talk to everyone. And then I compared them to say, okay, who offers me the best job? Either way, it's the military, right?
Okay.
I just wanted the best job. Well, the Army offered me 2 promotions, so I'd be making a huge difference compared to all the other branches, what they offered me monthly in my pay. And they offered me the best job, so I took the Army.
Okay. Best job, so that was pretty good. That kind of leads me into one of the other questions I was going to ask. What job did you pick?
So I'm a 94 Tango by trade. I fixed the Avenger system. We also are moving towards the CRAM phalanx weapon system. They shoot down, enemy planes, mortars, missiles, air defenses, if you will. So,
okay.
Anti-missile systems. That's kind of like.
So our air defense artillery, sort of that branch, specifically the Avenger and the CRAM system. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it gave me a lot of good tools from my toolbox, if you will, metaphorically speaking.
Oh, okay.
So when I have to get out and, start job applying and become a civilian again, I have a lot of good certifications. I have a lot of experience, rather than, let's just say, being a cook. And I'm not bashing that. I'm just saying compared to all these other schools I had the opportunities to go to.
So you're not really a cook, then, I take it. So, I mean, anybody who wants to choose that would be something.
Yeah, if you're in the culinary arts and that's kind of like your passion, that you have to be a person for that.
You're just not that person. Yeah,
so I didn't choose that field, but even if you do that field, there's a lot of different classes and certification with, health inspector, food quality. I know there's a lot to it. I know. I'm not bashing it. It was just not my lane.
Oh, no, I didn't say you were bashing it. I know what you were saying. I just kind of wanted to
of course.
It was just that's not the type of person you are, is to be culinary arts. Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, it's been pretty good for you then so far, right? You've been in the Army for a hot minute now. Where are some of the places that you've gone to?
I've been blessed. I know when I say what I'm going to say, people are going to be like, "Oh, that's scary." But I have been to Ireland. I had my 21st birthday in Ireland.
Ooh,
I've been to Germany, Romania, Qatar, Kuwait, of course, Afghanistan.
Okay.
Trying to even think where else, honestly. I think that's for the most part it for overseas wise. I've been all over the U.S. though.
Okay.
By choice.
Well, now you're in like smack dab in the middle of Central Oregon, so I mean.
Yeah, I mean, so when I first joined the military, I was like, oh, moving every 3 years, that sounds horrible. But I'll tell you what, oh God, I love it. It's like, okay, I like this place, I live there, or I don't like it. I'm ready for a new change of scenery, so I just pick up and go.
Okay, so would you say 3 years is too long or too short? I'm gonna
honestly now in my life, I'm gonna say it's too short.
Too short?
Yeah, because if you're in a place and you're like, you know what, I don't like this at all. In the back of your mind, you're like, it's all good. In a couple of years, I'm out of here.
Okay.
But if you love it, it's like, okay, cool. I can always extend, or I can always re-enlist to stay. You know, you have that option to continue it.
Yeah.
But I like having that choice or that ability to make that decision.
That's something I haven't really thought of before, so that's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, great things about the Army. For you specifically.
For me,
yeah.
You know what? Honestly, I'm glad you asked that question. I don't know how to make it in this day and age as a civilian. I joined right at 17, you know what I mean? The Army pays for everything. It paid for my food, my rent, my check. The only thing I really have to come out of pocket for is my personal things like my phone bill. They do everything for me. So that financial stability, whether, you know, we're having an epidemic and people are getting laid off, I will have paid leave. Or if I want to take a family emergency, I will have paid leave and not risk me being fired. So I think the stability, a lot of people think the military is not stability. I disagree 100%. I'm financially stable. I know that for a fact. Okay. Career stable. I'm not going to lose my career because some hot shot comes in that they're just going to make me better. They're going to train me or get me up to that level.
Okay.
And I like that.
Okay.
It kind of pushes you to be better. If you have some hot shot come in and you wear the hot shot, it motivates you to be a better person or better at your job. So I like that as well. Compared to the civilian world, they might just fire you or cut your hours. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I just don't like that at all. So I love the stability. Okay. And me being able to move a lot, in my mind, that's my stability. I'm going to be honest, because if I don't like somewhere, I'm going to be, my perspective, or as I was, I'm all over the map. My perception of life will be more negative if I don't like my environment.
Yeah.
So I think being able to have the choice to move is more stable in my mind.
Okay. You bring up something that I've kind of heard of before, and I don't know if you didn't quite say it in the words that I've heard it before, but happiness is sort of what you make of it, right?
Oh, 100%, man.
So you could have been miserable before joining. You can be miserable in the Army. You can be miserable afterwards, but life is kind of what you make of it.
Of course. Okay. I mean, you talk to different people who have served, you'll hear the bads and you'll hear the goods. In my opinion, it is what you make it. Yeah. And I'm gonna enjoy life. So no matter what I'm doing, I'm gonna enjoy it. If I'm in a place where I'm like kind of like, oh, this place is not that good, that's fine. I'm still gonna enjoy what is there. Okay. For instance, Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Yeah, you just came. Little town of Lawton, right outside Fort Sill.
A lot of people do not like it there. I'll tell you what, I love it there. I will go back. Okay. I made it fun. I had great friends. And I would go back. And that's what I try to do everywhere I go is I try to make it something fun, even if I don't like the environment, the people, whatever the case is in the situation.
Okay. Man, I got so many more questions, but you're catching me off guard with some of your answers. What about some cool things that you've done in the Army? You've been in a while. You must have like that one story in the back of your mind that you can kind of tell to some of the viewers to just kind of like talk about yourself a little bit.
That's hard. To be honest, you have a lot of stories. And I know I talked to you on our Facebook live show at one point. That I'm gonna say the same. I'm just gonna be consistent. I've done all the cool stuff of shooting guns and doing all this, blowing this up. I've done all that fun stuff. But for me, I'm gonna say the more emotional side. Okay. I remember when I was a brand new private in the Army. Shock. Holy cow, this is what it's like to be a soldier. Whatever. Me and my best friend, he's from Mississippi. We're 2 worlds apart, man, growing up. Just 2 dudes. I mean, he taught me so much. I taught him a lot. And I remember we had to go to the field for a week. and we had to do fire duty. Now, for the viewers that don't know what like fire duty is or patrol or whatever the case is, you have to stay up. Someone has to watch the perimeter 24 hours a day. And it was our shift. We had I think it was 11 to 3 slot. Okay. And I just remember being on the LMTV, and we're privates. So like, man, this is silly. Like, let's just go sit on top of an LMTV, and it's like a big truck. How do you explain an LMTV?
Ooh, gosh.
How do you explain that to viewers that don't know what that is? It's a big up-armored Army vehicle.
It's not a semi-truck, because we do have semi-trucks.
Yeah, 916s.
But it's not like a Humvee. It's kind of like a mix of the two, if you were. So it's like the engine sits underneath your seat.
It's just a big vehicle.
It's just troop transport, really.
Yeah, it's troop transport. And I just remember that, like, we had night vision goggles, we're in kit and all that fun stuff. I said, hey, man, let's hop on top of there. And we were just sitting on this thing, looking at the stars through night vision goggles, being privates, totally silly, not even what we're supposed to. But for me in that moment, I'll never forget it, because it's the bond that you create when you're in the Army.
Okay.
It's dude, I don't know this guy, but now we're like brothers. And I like that. And that's the main reason I joined the Army is the commodity of family and things like that. So that is one memory in my mind that was the coolest. Now, I might be boring to the viewers. They probably want to hear my stories of shooting down planes or shooting down a rocket coming in when I was in Afghanistan. But for me, I will never forget that. That would be my memory.
All right. Well, walk us through some of like your daily routines. Your job as a 91 Fox, 94. Sorry, Tango. 94 Tango. Sorry. Your job as a 94 Tango. Kind of walk us through like a weekly schedule for you.
Weekly schedule. I mean, it's consistent, but it's not. The Army, every day's different, but it's still the same. It's hard to explain.
You're a 94 Tango. You got one job. That job is anti-missile.
Our job is to maintain the equipment. So we're ordnance, which is basically mechanics. If nothing's broke. Mm-hmm. We have our service that we do, annuals, your quarterlies, your semi-annuals. So an every day, I'm gonna say as a private for the viewers, right? Not as a staff sergeant, it's a little different, but private. You wake up, 6:30 to about 8 o'clock, 7:30 is PT. You get in formation, we work out, and then you go shower, get breakfast, do what you got to do, report back to work at 9 a.m. If you are a person, smoker, whatever case, you can get breaks all the time. I know in civilian world you only allow 2 10-minute breaks or whatever that is. No, I mean, you can take a break every hour if you need it. Okay. But you work. You go in and say, hey, boss, what do I need to do today? He hands you a work order or a packet. Says, this is the truck that needs to get fixed. This is what needs to get fixed. This is the item we gotta make sure we finish by. He gives you the timeline, and you say, okay, and you grab your toolbox and you go work.
Okay.
11:30 hits. You're on lunch from 11:30 to 1, hour and a half lunch. I know a lot of jobs that don't give you an hour and a half for lunch, but that's okay. We do. And that's consistent. So then you take your lunch, you go to DFAC because it's free food, or you do whatever you want during that time, play games in the barracks or wherever you're at. And then you go back to work, 1300 to about 16, or I'm sorry, I should say it in normal terms, right? 1 o'clock to about 4:30 is, and then you have the final day formation and you're off.
Okay.
So you just keep working on that. And that's kind of like the everyday thing. Now, the job or what you have to do during that week might be different, but that timeline is consistent.
Okay. Yeah. Now you focus mainly on like the sort of the like the private, so the like E1 through E4 typically. So E1 through E3, E4 is kind of like the trainer for our NCO.
Yeah, your entry level.
Your entry level, right? But what about your specific job? Obviously, you've grown into become a mentor of like soldiers that are under you. Training, leading, and developing those individuals. I'm going to ask you a few questions on this. So, one, how does your job now relate to that specifically, like that timeline? Because you said like in the morning you were handed the packet and stuff like that, or like a work order packet or something to go do maintenance on vehicles and stuff. But now that you're one of those leaders in your field, how does that really affect your specific day-to-day routine?
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here. If I go off trail, just let me know. I am an E6 staff sergeant in the United States Army. Okay, so now.
Okay, that's correct.
I'm not just, give me this and follow the order. I'm actually having to maintain and give these orders out.
Okay.
And that's a little bit different. Because I guess a manager, if you will, you have to identify what needs to get done, time management, figure out, this is the week, this is what we need to get done, how is the best way to do it. Today focus on that, tomorrow focus on this. So you have to balance these things. Now, in my opinion, there's no such thing as a perfect sergeant or NCO or a perfect manager or a perfect leader. Everyone makes mistakes because it's hard to balance these work tasks as well as your personal life. It can be challenging for anyone. It can be stressful for anyone. So to do these things, I have to identify what needs to be done in priority levels. Okay, balance those things. And then I also have to think about, okay, I have, 5 soldiers, right? Who needs to be trained? Who needs to be mentored? Who needs more help? Who do I trust in the sense of I know if I give them this tough challenge, they'll work proficient. They know what they're doing, can get it done.
So you judge the skill level based on your peers as well, like the people.
Oh, yes. You have to be identified. You're only as strong as your weakest link, right?
Okay.
So you have to know your team.
Okay.
So on top of balancing the job and what we got to get done and your personal life, you got to also balance your soldiers. So once you kind of master that, and I think it takes time. I think it does. It's not no month. I think it takes months of identifying strengths and weaknesses. And once you got that kind of unlock, you can run. Now that's just the job. And you know how the Army is. You have to also focus on, 350-1, more online training, college, getting them promoted. And that's the mentoring side of the house.
Okay.
So the best way to put it, it's in our creed, tactically and technically proficient. For the longest time, I struggled with that. And I had a first sergeant tell me once that, look, how can you be a great leader if you can't go to boards? And I was like, nah, boards are what we do to get promoted. I was against that for a long time, but now I get it. And this is why. How can I train and mentor a soldier in a job if I don't even know the knowledge base or the reference to be able to show him or teach him?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if they're trying to figure out a whiskey cable or something that they need to fix, where in the manual can I at least teach them without giving them the answer? Say, hey, I want you to do this. And in my mind, it's like a teaching tool because I know they're going to end up where I want them to be.
Have you looked in this manual for that answer? Have you tried looking at the TM or something?
Exactly.
Is that a 10 or 20 level task and kind of going from there? Okay.
Exactly. And that's just that balance. And it does take some time to perfect. I'm 8 years in. I'll tell you what, let's see, I got promoted to E5 at 2.5 years. Okay, I fast tracked. I think just now, 8th year, I've identified how to be a sergeant. I've made so much mistakes and interactions with other leaders, learned from them.
Okay.
And I admit that because I believe it's right to admit when you're wrong. And I look back and I regret some of those interactions because I know I could have handled that differently.
Okay.
So it's all about learning. It's all about self-reflecting, and that's the biggest thing.
Now, as a leader and as an NCO, you've done some things for your soldiers. Is there anyone that stands out particularly to you, who I'll leave this up to your discretion, but who you have mentored to see improve?
Name?
Like, you don't have to give a name specifically, but maybe talk about your interaction with this person and like how. I don't know. When I'm asking this question, I actually have someone in mind who I'm like, man, I remember that I felt really good after I did this. I was able to help them through a tough time. So who specifically, like, do you have like an experience in your career where you were able to help someone change their life or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm going to use one because he's out of the Army, so I can kind of talk about it. I don't want to talk about anyone that's currently in, just out of respect for them.
Okay.
But I've helped a lot of soldiers, and it's a great feeling to get them to the board and get them promoted to E5. And I've experienced that a lot. For me to make my sergeant, though, my mentor, my greatest NCO I've ever had in my career, he gave me a challenge. He said, hey, this soldier, I was an E4 specialist, training to be E5. He said, this soldier has issues. He is yours. And in my mind, now I look back at it, that was like kind of a test for me, for him to develop me to become a better leader, or prove that I'm ready to be a leader, if that makes sense. And this soldier had financial issues. He had a lot of problems. He was a young kid. He didn't know how to maintain his money. It was bad. By the second day of a paycheck, it'd all be gone. He would blow it. So now he's out of the Army doing great things. But I remember it came to the point where I'd have to help him financially, like balance his debit card, for instance. He smoked cigarettes. I had to balance the cigarettes because he always smoked them like this. And I remember even getting time calls from what we call Warrior Zone. So where a lot of soldiers like to hang out, from having to pick them up. Hey, every day. Hey, this guy's causing trouble. Come get him. Every day this happened. And I remember it was right before I deployed to Afghanistan the first time. So I remember kind of shaking my head. I was getting close to him as a friend, but I started to realize, hey, that might not be the right idea, because how am I supposed to get through him if I'm his friend?
Okay.
So I think it took us, when we got to Afghanistan, that's when it kind of really sunk in for me as, hey, I need to help this guy become better. And over that time, you have to be honest. Say, hey, man, you're messed up. Some people don't like to hear it that they're wrong or they're messed up, but you have to give them. My mind, negativity is positivity, because if you tell me I'm wrong or I'm messed up, it makes me think, okay, I need to self-adjust. And it gets me better to positive, right?
Okay.
So that's what I do with him. It took some time. And now he's doing well. He's basically in law enforcement in California. He works for the sheriff's department. He's doing good. But it was definitely what they call in the Army a problem child, or if you will, that one in the platoon.
Okay.
And I got close to him. I talk to him this day. He supports us on our Facebook all the time, actually. I'm not going to say his name for respect out of him, but he's doing great. And that was the one thing that me as a young leader learning how to mentor someone when I needed mentorship.
Okay. That's pretty good. Now, the reverse side of that, obviously, I asked if you had someone below you, but you sort of mentioned it earlier, but do you have one specific leader in your military career?
Oh, 100%.
Talk to us about him.
So his name, I mean, I've had leaders in my past, okay, but there's one that in my mind will always stand out as my best leader. His name, I think he's first sergeant now at Bragg, Joshua Lewis. He was a tough guy. He was an old school sergeant, if you will. He was the type where you think he ate nails for breakfast every morning. Well, he says he did.
Okay.
But, he was just a tough cat. But me, I was a hard soldier. Whether it is I talk a lot or I don't get stuff, I need more explanation. He was very patient, very, very patient.
Okay.
And he yelled at me a lot. I'm gonna be honest, he chewed me out a lot, but he made me such a better leader in my mind, simply because of the stuff that he taught me and how to react. Like even now as a NCO, I'll think, okay, if I'm the private and he's me, how would he handle me? I think that sometimes, instead of just blowing up on a soldier or quickly thinking, I'll think about how he handled it, because he handled a lot dealing with me. So I've seen how he reacted towards what I did to him, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I really respect him, and I hope he's doing great out there. I haven't spoken to him about a year because he moved away, but I did 2 tours under him. That's my platoon sergeant. I've seen him grow from E6 to a first sergeant and how he got there. So he'll forever be, in my mind, my mentor, if that makes sense.
Okay. That's pretty good. I don't really got a whole lot more questions to ask you. I know we're sort of just introduction to you a little bit about yourself.
Hope you all know me now.
Yeah. We talked a lot about your career in the Army.
Yeah.
I guess some closing questions. We've talked a lot about the Army, but we really haven't talked a lot about you outside of the workplace.
Okay.
But how does the Army affect like your personal life, and what do you do outside of the Army? Like when you go relax and on like the weekends and stuff.
Mm-hmm. How does it affect me? I know my mentor would say, you're a soldier 24/7.
Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to maintain a certain level of like discipline and appearance. But as far as like not just that aspect of it, but a little bit about you on the outside.
On the outside, the Army is, of course, always there. Being an NCO, you got to work sometimes, answer calls or handle business. But I think it really made me mature. My first couple years in the Army, I didn't know who I was. I probably still don't, bouncing from different styles or different habits, whatever the case is. So I think that kind of helped affect me in my personal side to grow even more. To point now where I kind of identify what I want long term. You asked me 2 years ago what I want. It's like, I don't know. And I think that is how it affected me in my personal life. But what I also what I like to do, because I think that's where you're going with that. Mm-hmm. I like hanging out with my family. Okay. I'm a gamer too. So I like playing games. I have an RV, so we're all about outdoors and camping and fishing, things like that. So that's kind of what I do for fun. I might be a boring person now. Back then, your bars and all that crazy stuff. I don't do any of that anymore. I'm more about barbecues with good friends like me and you, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather do a barbecue cookout and have a couple beers than go to a club or a bar. That's just how I am now. And I think the Army helped me mature in that level, because I don't want to do that anymore. It could cause more trouble. In my mind, it's like, do I want to risk my career, my financial stability, just to go have fun in a bar and get in a fight? Like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? So I think that's how it also affects my personal life.
Okay. Playing video games, hiking, spending outdoor family time, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that pretty much wraps up a lot about you. I think they really got a kind of a good introduction to you, what you do, and
yeah. If you guys want to know more questions, we're gonna be on here all the time. You can always message the channel.
Yep.
Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. We have it all. So if you have questions, let me know. I don't want to dig too deep into my personal life. That is my private life.
No. I'm not trying to dig into like the private.
But
I'm just saying like, do you? I guess the point I was trying to make is, do you have a personal life outside the Army?
Oh, of course.
And the answer was yes.
Yeah, my bad.
No. I could have worded it a little bit different. But totally. I just want to, you are a soldier, all the time. You're supposed to maintain that sort of level of, discipline.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can relax. So, and you do, right?
I'm a normal person, man. I got a mama. You know what I'm saying? She worries too. Like we're normal humans. I know a lot of people think looking out, they think we're robots. Nah, we're normal people, man.
All right.
But I appreciate having me on today and doing the intro video.
Do you have any like words of wisdom that you've sort of grown into to kind of leave them with like a gold nugget, if you were?
God, I probably have a lot, but on the spot, I'm trying to think now.
Oh yeah,
words of wisdom. Look, all right. Yeah, I'll give you one. When you're in an environment, okay, career-wise, I'm gonna do a career goal or career advice. If you are in a bad experience, whether it's bad leaders, bad job, you don't like it, my best advice, what I've learned in my time, set goals, reach those goals, and move on. For instance, if you're in a bad unit, fine, I just want to make E5, then I'll go to the next one. Get that goal, get what you need out of it, and move on. You don't have to sit there and be unhappy. You don't have to sit there and hate this or hate the Army or whatever. Set goals for yourself, get them, and roll and move on.
Okay.
That's probably the best thing. A lot of people get stuck in a rut, or they'll get out. You'll see good people get out just because of this bad person or this bad environment, or they don't like the job, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Don't let these outside factors control you. Only you can control yourself. Set your goals, reach them, and move out. That's simple.
All right. Cool.
That's all I got.
Pretty much it. Thank you guys for visiting us. We'll have a couple more of these segments rolling up. We'll do myself. We'll also try to incorporate a lot of other people from our office as well to kind of get to know them a little bit more. Might not have this really cool background that Sergeant Ryan pretty much put up here in my house, but we'll definitely get some pretty good stuff for you guys.